All right, guys, we are here today with somebody that I've been watching on the social media world for the last couple months, and he's grown really, really fast. He's the second guest that I'm having here that is behind social content creating, somebody that I find very funny. Also, to do what he does, it's pretty interesting because you need to have some confidence with what you do. And today we have the Supreme NPC, which is what he goes by on social media. And I will let him introduce himself. Who are you?
Unë jam Agron Pali, djali I rebelit, prej which is Agron Pali, born in New York. Albanian.
Super Albanian. Agron, it's nice to meet you. It's nice to actually get to know you today. It's our first time actually ever interacting, which is pretty interesting. I've seen you kind of grow over the last couple months on social media. Let people know as to what you do and who you are. What is it that you do on your daily for social media content creation?
So what I try to do on social media is I try to just be who I am. When I find something funny, then I'll write it down, but usually the things that I write down don't ever come to fruition. In my notes, I have like 1,000 different notes of ideas of content that I'm gonna create. But when I wake up, I don't look back on those notes and I just wing it. So one of the things that I went viral for was the video with the women, you know, I put the camera out and I'll try to speak to women. In the beginning, I was talking to women in a positive light. I was asking them out, seeing if they wanted to go out with me. I wanted the world to see how women react to men asking them out. And I was getting rejected a lot on camera. So every time that I kept getting rejected, people were kind of making fun of me. They were saying like, oh, you can't get with any girls, no girls wants to talk to you, this and that. So I started realizing that I needed to use a different strategy to get women to like me. And the more I rejected women, the more I acted like I didn't want to be with a woman. It seemed like they chased me even more.
Interesting. Yeah, I've seen a lot of your clips where you just walk up to random women and try to start up like not even a conversation, but it's more of a, I don't want to talk to you. And then they just look at you crazy and they're like, huh? Like, what's going on? But you get drawn by it. And it's funny because each and every clip you do is a different interaction. But what inspired this like your channel pretty much? What inspired you to become the Supreme NPC? Where'd you even get this name? Where does that all come from?
Okay, so the Supreme NPC, it means non-player character. So there was a time in my life when I had $500,000. I was 24 years old. I'd been working every day to get money. That's what my entire life was about. From 17 years old till 23 years old, every day, I was just trying to get money. Finally, I achieved a certain amount where I was getting $5,000, $8,000 a week. And I felt like that was a lot. So I was going on vacation. Every week, I would go to a different place. I would go to Mexico, I'd go to Dominican Republic, I went to Puerto Rico, Jamaica. My favorite vacations were all-inclusive vacations, right? So when you go to an all-inclusive vacation for 5 days, you don't have to think about money. Money doesn't exist for those 5 days. And I was obsessed with that idea, you know? So having all that free time in my hands and not having to think about money, I took a very like philosophical route where I had so much time to think about what are we here for in life? What's this day-to-day about? What are the goals that I've wanted to achieve? Like having fancy cars, having nice houses. What are the things that all of us, when we were kids, that we wanted when we became adults? Like, what are the things that we wanted? We wanted to have nice cars, nice watches, things like that, right? So finally, when I felt like I achieved all those things, I had all the fancy stuff, it felt like the game was over. Like there was nothing else to look forward to. So what I realized while I was in these all-inclusive resorts, I realized that the point of life is the chase. It's not the actual achieving the goal. Mm-hmm. Like the chase is what's fun about it. Like thinking that you're not going to make it, thinking that you're not going to get it, like trying the day-to-day, like
that trying. Whole path, the whole, yeah, okay.
Exactly. So having all that free time, I realized that even the billionaires, like when you have billions of dollars, right? You could be sitting inside of a room with somebody who has $10 billion. Another guy has $5 billion. You could see the competition between them, because that's like, as humans, that's the point of life. That's how we are.
It's competitive nature.
In Vegas, right? I've been in Vegas a bunch of times. I've seen people who have like a $5,000 suite in Vegas, and we'll all go out to the club, and you'll see another guy, he has a $2,000 suite. And you could see he genuinely feels uncomfortable. Like, you could tell in his face, he feels lower than the guy who has a $5,000 a night room. And back then, I was sitting there with my $400 a night room, and I was just quiet. I didn't say anything. But when I flew back home to the Bronx, I looked like the man. Like, in front of everybody else, everybody's like, oh my God, you're flying out to Vegas? Wow, you're rich. You made it in life. But when I got out to Vegas and I seen how much money everybody else had, I felt small.
Yeah.
So it feels sometimes like life is just constant competition. Yeah. So we all have this non-player character characteristics. Like, we're all just trying to compete with each other.
In a simulation, pretty much. Everybody's just doing it just because Mr. Jones is doing it. So now I want to be like Mr. Jones.
Yes.
Yeah, it's kind of all the same thing. But you mentioned you were from New York. What part of New York did you grow up at?
I grew up in Brooklyn, then I moved to Queens, then I moved to Westchester County, New York.
Yeah, so you kind of been all everywhere. And what kind of person were you as like a kid? Who were you as a kid? What were you in your teenage years? Who were you? What inspired you during those years? Were you getting into trouble? Were you, kind of give people an idea of who you were and what you were growing up, and how were things for you,
So in school, I read a lot of books. I read about 2,000 books by the time I was 17. And that's even including Goosebumps books and Boxcar Children.
Yeah, any type of books.
Yeah. So I've read 2,000 books. But I've also read college books. I've read religious books. I've read the Bible twice. I read the Quran twice. I read the Torah once. So I was always...
You're always studying.
Always studying, always trying to understand what are we here for? What's the meaning of life, When I was 11, I woke up one night in the middle of the night and I couldn't sleep because all I kept thinking about was, what happens when you die? How can you not exist? How is that possible?
Yeah.
Where was I before I was born, right? So in school, I always did really well. I was the type of kid that I can walk into class and I would get a 90 on the test, whereas other kids had a hard time and they would study all night and fail the test, right? So I did well in school. Now, once I turned 14, I started smoking weed, and I didn't do well in school anymore. I stopped caring about school. I was always the class clown. I was always getting kicked out of schools. I got kicked out of Yorktown High School. Then I went to Yorktown High School. I got Yorktown Alternative High School, and I got kicked out of there. Then I went to BOCES Fox Meadows, where all the bad kids from all Westchester go, and I got kicked out of there. Then I got a tutor sent to my house because I wasn't allowed in any schools.
And you got kicked out of your own home?
Then I kicked her out of my house.
Shoot, so that's crazy, bro. So like, would you say this was like a big turning point for you? Or like when that happened to you, were you like, all right, I'm comfortable with it? Or was this actually like a slap in the face type of moment? Like, hey, I need to change my life around?
When I kicked her out of my house?
Yeah, like all this stuff that was going on with you,
So now that I'm older, and this is going to sound really egotistical, but I realized that it wasn't me, it's the system that's wrong. It's not me that was wrong. I feel like children should be educated individually, not just in like
thrown
a paper,
in a group.
Thrown in a group, in a cookie cutter classroom. I think that's wrong.
Okay, that's interesting, bro. And
can I clarify on why I kicked her out of my house?
Yeah, go right ahead.
So the tutor that came to my house when I was in 12th grade, it was 4 weeks before the end of school, and I could have easily passed that SAT class, but she started talking about Albanian Muslims. She started talking smack about Albanian Muslims. She'd been talking shit about Muslims the entire time while she was tutoring me inside of my house. And I never mentioned to her that I'm Muslim because I'm not a devout Muslim, but my grandparents were Muslim.
Yeah. So it still hits you at home somehow, even though it probably doesn't bother you, it still hits you.
Every time she said it would hurt me a little bit, but I don't really care. I don't really believe in religions too much, so I don't care. but she kept saying it, Muslim terrorists, Muslim terrorists. She was just repeating what she heard from the news.
Yeah.
It kind of seemed like she was brainwashed, you know, because there's not that many Muslim terrorists. Most Muslims are good people.
Yeah, exactly.
So finally she said it another time and I flipped out. I grabbed my own chair, I threw it against the wall, and I was like, get the out of my house. I started screaming at her. I bugged out on her, this and that. My parents were so mad at me. My dad was like, why you kick the lady, man? Why you kick the lady? Because my dad didn't really, you know,
the language barrier.
Language barrier. So the school called him and said, your son kicked the tutor out of the house. So he misunderstood. So he came up to me, he was like, why you kick the lady, man? Why you kick the lady?
And now that's just how it lasts forever, as you kick the lady out. But I mean, did you always have, let's say, like, did you always have a vision of doing what you're doing today? Like, did you ever think you were just going to be doing social media content? What was like your actual true dream as a kid out of high school or after, you know, your 20s? Where were you projecting yourself that you were going to be? Or you were just not ambitious? Or some people don't have it, some people have it, where they have an ambition for something as a big dream. Did you always have like dreams of doing social media or no?
Not social media, no, but I always wanted to be able to go wherever I want to go. I want to be able to buy whatever I want to buy. I hated living in scarcity. So there were a few times in my life where I had to go into stores and like I would go to TJ Maxx and there was a t-shirt that I wanted or a pair of pants that I wanted and I would steal it. So I would take a t-shirt and I would put it underneath my t-shirt and then I would walk up to the lady and show her 5 t-shirts. Meanwhile, I really had 6. And I just hated that. And one time my mom caught me stealing from stores.
Really?
And she put me in my place about like how bad it is, how nasty of a thing it is to steal. So after that, I started thinking, this is when I was young, when I was 14. So I started thinking of different ways to make money. Like I always wanted a lot of money.
Yeah, because you probably had a lifestyle that was expensive too. I mean, I kind of compare with that too. I always wanted everything. Like, I got to have the new PS5. I got to have the new this. I got to have the new this. So I can kind of see where you're going with that. And like, would you say that got you into a lot of trouble? A lot of your early life?
For sure, yeah. But I always kept 2 jobs. So I would always have money coming in.
Yeah, okay. And what inspired you to get to where you are? Like, I know I asked you earlier about how you became the Supreme NPC. But like, what inspired this now? You said, like, what was your first video that made you see like, oh, maybe I have a clear path for success in this social media world? What was that first vision?
I stopped caring about what other people think because one thing that I realized throughout my life is no matter what you do, you know, there were times when I was at really bad points in my life where I was in and out of jail, getting in trouble a lot, and I've had times. And people would obviously talk bad about me at that point. Look at this guy. He's in and out of jail. He's a loser. He's a troublemaker. And then I've had times where I'm working 2 jobs and people make fun of me because I'm a waiter. So what I realized is people will talk about you regardless of what you do. So what made me able to do whatever I want to do is I stopped caring what other people think because people are going to talk regardless. And that's a fact.
Yeah. And do you think that like motivates you even more every day? Like, hey, I want to fight through this negativity and show people that I can make it.
100%.
Did you always feel like you were scraping from the bottom, or, you know?
No, there were times where I was above everybody else, looking down. I told you at the time when I was making a lot of money every week, I really felt like it's a different feeling when you're making a lot of money. Like you feel like you're elevated above everybody else, because you don't have the limitations that people who don't have a lot of money have.
Yeah. So, well, how can I say, let's like, your videos that you do now, everything that you do from the last couple months that you've kind of gone viral. I see some videos that you've had multiple millions of views. Like, that's pretty insane. It's not easy to do. I do social media myself, so I know it's not easy. But what was the first viral skit you ever had?
So the first viral skit that I ever had was Don't Even Think About It. It was on the escalator. The way that video came about was, so I was at work, right? I work as a waiter. And there was a hostess that I really liked, right? She worked across the street at a different restaurant. And every day I would get into work and I looked at her and she was just gorgeous. She was fresh from Albania. I'm a very picky guy. I don't like a lot of girls, you know? And her, just something about her, like I loved everything about her. Her curly hair, her eyes, like her jawline. I can remember everything right now. She was beautiful. She was the epitome of beauty to me.
She was the perfect thing for you.
You know,
Yeah.
perfect. And like, I wanted to be with her so bad. Like, I know I would have been the perfect person for her. I would have gave her everything, anything she ever wanted. I would have treated her good, you know? Like, I really, like, loved her as a person, you know? And I would speak to her every day a little bit. Like, I would try to get my way in, you know? I would buy her Snickers and Red Bulls and stuff, like give her, like, cute notes, like,
Being
funny
persistent.
notes. You know, I was very persistent. So for 5 weeks in a row, I would give her my Instagram. Then I gave her my phone number. Then I gave her my TikTok. I'm trying to make jokes with her. I would always walk by across the street and try to speak to her. Try to get in with her somehow, you know? And then I had a group of guys who were like my rivals who also liked her. And they would basically tell her, like, why are you talking to this guy? This guy's a loser, you know?
Yeah.
And like, I didn't care about that. I brushed that off, but I still kept trying to talk to her. And then eventually one day she looked me dead in my face and she goes, Agron, I'm not going to call you. I don't know why you keep trying to call me, why you keep trying to contact me, you know? So I walked away from that. I took that L. Then it was like about a month later and I started working at a different restaurant and there was a hostess that I liked and I was like, damn, she's hot. And I was about to say something to her, but then I remembered, you know, I learned from my mistakes. I'm like, that strategy didn't work on the last one. So what am I going to do with this one? So I went up to her and I was like, hey, how much do you make a year? She said 40,000. She said about 40,000. And I was like, that's nothing. Don't even think about it. You don't have a chance with me. I don't want to be with you. And I walked away from her quickly. When I walked away from her, she started chasing me around the restaurant, literally chasing me to tell me that I didn't even want to be with you. I didn't want to be with you. You know? Like,
Yeah.
And it got her attention. It got her attention. So I learned rejecting women was the way to get attention.
Okay. And this was the start. This was like the start of I want to start making videos and kind of doing this to people to see how I can experiment. Because it's pretty much an experiment.
Yes.
Because like people don't hold rejection easily, even if it's somebody random and you're just walking up to them and you're rejecting them and they're just like, why is this guy rejecting me? He doesn't know me. But now that is a good tactic because now it forces them to talk to you, which is pretty good. I've never thought about it until I saw your videos and I thought this guy was very, very creative. And some people may think it's crazy. Some people may think it's funny. Some people may think it's stupid. But to me, I think it takes a lot of confidence to do that too.
Thank you.
Because if everybody could do it, they would do it. You know, and that's not an easy thing. And that's why I gravitated towards your content. And when I found out you were Albanian, I was like, oh my God, this is even crazier, you know? And I love to support my Albanians. But like a lot of your videos, do you just freestyle everything? Do you normally wake up in the morning already with kind of like a plan and an intention? Or do you just, right from the jump, you just start recording and just not even plan your skit?
So what you guys have seen is 1% of what I want to do. I have so many ideas and I have so many things that I want to say. Right now, to get everybody's attention, you kind of have to do this shock value comedy entertainment. I'm hoping in the future I could talk about the things that I really want to talk about that are sensitive issues and whatnot. Right now, I can't afford to speak about how I really feel and things that I want to say regarding, you know,
certain things, yep.
Yeah. So I feel like I have to just keep building a platform with the comedy until finally I'll be able to say the things I want to say. The things that you guys are seeing is all, I'm just winging it. I'm just turning the camera on, I'm winging it.
How often do you shoot or create content? Like, because now there's going to be a lot of, you know, younger people watching this too that are going to, you know, ask you things like this. So like, how long do you typically record for there on a daily basis? Do you record for hours? Is it just a 30-minute thing? Is it just for you to get a laugh during the day? Or how long, what's your process like when you are shooting content?
So most of the content that I have is in my camera roll. I have 5,000 videos that I haven't released. You guys have only seen like 300 or 400, right? Wow. So the amount of things that I've shot, I didn't find most of them worthy of releasing them. So to everybody who wants to create content, I find that what happens is you make one video and you get that embarrassed feeling. I get that a lot. Like I'll post something and I'll feel like this is stupid. People don't want to see this.
Somebody's gonna laugh at me or say something idiotic.
Or I don't even like I saw a vision in my head, and then when I posted it or after I edited it, I didn't like the way it came out.
It's not the image you wanted.
It's not what I wanted, right? But just because that one video didn't come out good, it doesn't mean you have to stop. Post another video, edit another video, and keep going. Don't let one video define who you are. If you meet somebody for one night, if you met me one night out on the street and I slammed the door in your face because I was in a rush, you might think I'm an asshole. So your image of me would be an asshole just based off that 10 seconds that I slammed the door in your face. But that's not my whole life, if you get what I'm saying.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I completely understand what you're saying. So would you say that's like one of the biggest challenges as well for you too, is kind of yourself? Or would you say a biggest challenge is like other people?
My biggest challenge has been finding a team that I want to work with. It's very difficult to work with people, and I don't want to be sinister, but it's very hard to find people who are not egotistical and prideful. It seems like anytime you try to get people, this is just the experience that I have, I don't want to sound negative, but this is the experience that I've gotten. Mm-hmm. Anytime you try to put people together to create something, it feels like everybody's egos get in the way and everybody's pride gets in the way of creating what we want to create. Everybody starts thinking about money right away, which you shouldn't be thinking about that. You should be thinking about what would be the funniest video.
The creativity part of it.
The creativity part of it. Whatever happened to that? I don't want to sit there and think about the money of it.
I've noticed that too.
If I want to make money, there's so many other ways to make money than creating content. You're not going to make money doing this. It's going to take you 5 years to make
Everybody
money.
always tells me, "Oh, Rock, you're probably making so much money." I'm like, guys, I'm making $0 off of this.
Yeah.
So like a lot of the stuff I do is out of the love and just me trying to contribute into something positive and creative. So I feel you on that one, because everybody, that is always the first conversation for some reason, especially with Albanians.
Right away.
Oh, you're probably making really good money, or are you making good money? And I'm like, no, I'm not. And then they instantly stop and like, oh, you're not? Like, all right, does that make me cool that I'm making a lot of money or not? Like,
yeah.
Whatever, just support me just for having a creative image.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that's usually the whole thing about teamwork. That's why I work alone, as you see, a lot of the times. And I see you do a lot of your own content on your own.
Yeah,
and
it crushes me every time I meet somebody that I like as a person, and I'm like, damn, we could do things together, we could build, we could grow together,
Yeah.
And the moment they start mentioning money, or like you could just see people turn greedy and people turn selfish.
Exactly,
like,
bro. That's why
this is not the route.
That's why for me, anything I ever do, I just do it out of the love of what I do. I never focus on money. And I like that you think like that as well too, because that's not easy. Because everybody's first thought is, oh, I want to make a lot of money, but you're not going to make a lot of money in this game. Mm-hmm. It's just like music. You're investing yourself, you're investing your time. That's what I did for a long time. I never made $1 off of music, but I did what I loved. Eventually it'll come back to me. And I kind of see your point in that too. But what's also a big challenge with you to staying creative and fresh with your content as well? Because I know it's probably hard to always just come up with something random on the fly. So
for me, I never run out of content. Like I told you before, I have 1,000 notes. I'm always thinking of funny things. I've always had a mind where I'll just be sitting in a room and something will happen, and I always go off into a movie. Like I always see movie scenes. Everything could be a movie scene for me, because I've seen so many situations happen over and over again, different scenarios, and I loved watching movies as a kid. I loved watching comedians as a kid. So coming up with French content for me, I come up with 10 different video ideas, 3 of them each day that could go viral. It's just about executing. The execution is what I'm having difficulty with, because some days life is lifing, life will life. So some days you don't want to do content. Some days you got other things that pop up. Some days you're not in the mood to talk to people. You're not in the mood to do anything.
What would you say to somebody that wants to get started on content creation today, if they are feeling like this? What would you tell them to do? How's your own experiences with this, motivated you to keep going and to continue doing what you're doing?
On that day, if they don't want to create content that day, I would say sit it out for that day, to be honest with you, and wait till later. Wait till your mood changes, because otherwise you're going to put out things based off your emotion. You might feel angry, and then you might put off some angry energy.
Yeah, and something that's rushed or something that's not fully there, which I completely understand, because it happens to the best of us. Anybody in the content creation world, it always happens. At one point, did you realize, like, wow, I'm actually blowing up?
So when I started not being able to walk on the streets anymore without getting recognized.
Really? Does that happen often?
Yeah.
Really?
I can't go anywhere without being not being recognized anymore. Everybody.
What's crazy is I had my American friends, not even Albanian friends, who were sending me your videos just because they thought you were funny. And then it took me a while to recognize your name, and I'm like, this guy's Albanian. Like, when I saw your first name, I was like, Agron. I was like, this is an Albanian doing this. And then that's when I reached out to you. But I had a bunch of my American friends who knew you and were sending me your videos, and they thought all your stuff was funny because, like I said, it takes a lot to just walk up to a stranger and say something like, no, me and you will never gonna work. Like, you know, it's hard to think about stuff like that, but I think that's really cool, doing what you do, because it's very outside the box.
For me, it's not the confidence that what allowed me to do that. It's not confidence. It was just not caring anymore. Not caring about the repercussions. Not
caring about, good job or bad job. It's just, I'm doing what I'm doing.
Yep.
All right, let's see. What's one of the weirdest or funniest, like, interactions or comments that's happened with you since kind of starting your content creation journey? What's been a funny or a challenging part of it all?
So I've had people come up to me, like, that don't know me from the street, and they'll, like, grab me around the shoulder or something and tell me, don't even think about it. This is just wild. This happens to me all the time.
Really?
You know? Yeah. Somebody will run up to me, jump on me, and put their arm around my shoulder and be like, "Don't even think about it."
That's funny.
And it is funny, but
it's scary.
Yeah. So if I'm on my way, if I'm walking to the train, I'm doing my day-to-day life, and somebody just, because they feel like they know me, you know, and I understand, like, I am like a personable guy, and I am like that. I'm cool like that,
Yeah.
But if I'm in a different mode, if somebody comes up to me and just grabs me out of nowhere, it's like that initial shock that I get is like, I want to swing or something,
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on when somebody just comes and puts their arm around you. Yeah.
After like 30 seconds later, once I realize what's going on, I'm like, this and that. But the initial shock of that is like, yo, somebody's trying to.
But how does it make you feel when you do get these interactions with people who do support you?
I feel great, yeah.
Did you ever feel like you would get this kind of support or no?
No. I never imagined this many people could feel relatable to the content, and I got so much more to go too.
Has anybody ever come up to you and actually said, like, "Yo, you've actually helped me become more confident in doing what you do," and maybe they try to do what you do too, and now it's probably helped them in a way? Has anybody ever told you, like, "Yo, you inspired me to be more confident," or anything like that? Because I would feel like people can kind of gain some self-confidence off of this too, even though it is kind of like a joke, like comedy as to what you're doing, but in a way, that's a lot of confidence that you need for you to do this.
Yeah, 100%. I've had many messages that told me exactly that I inspire them, and I feel like I'm creating more of a community. Like, there are some people who get offended, who feel like I'm being offensive or I'm being too much. But I feel like more than anything, I feel like as a society, we should be able to joke with each other.
Yeah.
We shouldn't be so like walking on.
We shouldn't be such NPCs.
We shouldn't be such NPCs. Don't get so mad at people about every little thing. We should be able to be a community where we're able to joke and laugh at each other. We shouldn't get so angry. Like, look at these things that happen from people getting so angry because of words. We shouldn't act like that. I feel like we should be more of a community.
Especially when it comes to political stuff and like religious stuff. Like, I always get into conversations with people about politics and religion, but at the end, they're still my friend, they're still my family. And I always still respect and love them. And I wish people could have more of these conversations where at the end they're still friends or something.
Yes. One of the biggest things that I've seen with the difference between rich people and poor people. I don't know how to say poor people, middle class, whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So people that are middle class and poor or whatever, we might get into an argument and then never talk again because of that argument. The stupidest arguments. And when I see lawyers, is it dying?
Yeah, it's 1%.
When I see lawyers and stuff, damn, I had something good.
Keep going.
Yeah, lawyers and prosecutors, they argue inside the courtroom, but then they have lunch the next day.
Yeah, and they're still friends somehow. There we go.
I'm gonna put that on my story on TikTok.
All right, there we go.
Doing an interview with my man IamRrok right now.
What up? What's going on? How are you?
Should be coming out tomorrow. And we're back.
How to get back into everything we were talking about? How do you deal with? Because obviously you do get love, but you also probably do get hate. How do you ever deal with like haters or trolls? Like, what do you do in that aspect when people are kind of like hitting on you just to be negative?
When I respond to the trolls or when I respond to the haters, usually I just do it for fun at this point, because I know, no offense, but usually when people are sitting there hating on you, it's because something's wrong with them. You know, like something's wrong about their day. It's not anything against you. So if you ever notice when you're driving and you have people behind you and they're honking and they're pissed off at the way that you're driving, it's usually about their day. It's not about
Yeah, pretty much.
what you're doing, because you have bad drivers all across the board. There's no reason to comment on every other driver, right?
Yeah.
You could just stay in your lane and not say anything. You don't have to say Chief Shanonen
Yeah,
to everybody who passes by you.
you put it in a good perspective.
You know?
With all your videos too, though, do you think like going viral is more about luck, timing, consistency? Like, what is it that you think that goes viral with some of your videos?
I think that it's unique. I think that the content is unique. I think that people haven't really seen anything like that before. There's a line between things that are shocking and things that are offensive. So a lot of people, I get a lot of messages of people who want to create content like mine, and they've actually tried to do content like mine, and they'll send me videos of what they created, and they'll say, should I post this? And sometimes it'll be some disrespectful stuff towards women. I don't condone that at all. I'm totally against being disrespectful towards women. So if you notice, I'm always like a good 8 feet, 10 feet away. It might look like I'm close to the people when I'm recording, but I'm not. I keep my distance from people because you never know. You know, some women have a boyfriend, they have a husband, they have their own lives. I usually try to see somebody who's like going out to clubs, stuff like that, they're in the fun scene already, right? Women, it sounds cliche, right? But women make babies. Women raise the babies, right? So us as men, we don't know what that's like. Do you know what a hard job it is for a mother to take care of a child, to raise a child? You don't. Women have the hardest jobs on the planet. I feel like we should all respect women, and women should have respect for themselves.
I like that. I like that. What's one goal you still want to hit with your content in the next year?
I want to change the world. I want the world to be a different place. I want the world to be a better place. I want people in the world to stop being so sensitive. And I want us to be able to joke with each other and be a community rather than be such individuals where we're competing against each other, where we're so divided. People are so divided right now. Everybody's sitting down looking at their phones. You meet up with people in real life and everybody's so against each other. If somebody says something that you don't like, you cut them off right away. You block the channel right away, or you stop talking to them. You ghost them right away. We shouldn't do that. We should be able to listen to each other's opinions. Even if you don't like somebody else's opinion, you should still take in what they're saying, because you're going to put yourself in a bubble. If you only listen to what you like, you're going to put yourself into a bubble, and it's dangerous for all of us.
Interesting. And through all of this, I'm going to get down to a couple of final questions here. Do you feel like through all this, you're building a brand, or do you feel like this is just going to be something that's you're just making videos and that's going to be for fun? Shut up.
That's really what it is. Other than that, I have so much content that I want to put out. I'm getting my finances back in order, but last year I lost $200,000, and right now I'm starting back up with the money. I hate to measure money, but it is what it is. It's what it is.
You need it. You need it.
Yep.
You know, you need it.
Right now I'm having trouble financing the things that I want to do. I don't want to do the small time content creation anymore. I do it for fun. I do it for myself because I enjoy doing it, but I have bigger things.
Has it helped kind of at least get you into the direction of where you're trying to go? Or would you say it's still kind of like there's still a bump there, there's still something blocking you?
I feel like the day-to-day content that I'm doing right now with the equipment that I have right now, I feel like it's all pointless.
Yeah, because like people would think I'm like a millionaire with all the things I'm doing, but I haven't even gained a single dollar from what I'm doing. So like the content world is hard because it's a lot of self-investment. It's a lot of time investment. And I mean, hopefully you get to where you want to go. Sorry you went through what you went through. But you know, that just shows people who are doing content creation to not let money be the focal point of their journey. Do what you love and the money will come. And I like the fact that you do think like this, because a lot of people, I think, do get stuck in that depressive state, like, I don't have the funding, I don't have this, but like at least you're still making it work.
Oh yeah, I still post every day. Yeah. Even though that I don't have the funding to do what I want to do, I still post every day. I do what I can.
How often do you post on a daily basis or weekly basis? What would you say is the perfect amount for you or for anybody else trying to get into this world?
I post every day, but I don't recommend that for everybody else. I post every day because right now I have a following where I can post every day. So the people who want to get into content creation, I don't recommend doing that. I recommend having one bit of content, write it out really good, have the perfect lighting, have the perfect storyline, have the perfect characters that you want involved, and put out good quality content. Don't just put out any crap that's coming out, because it's gonna lower your view count. It's gonna make people not trust you. What it is, when I'm swiping through my feed and I see different names pop up, if you give me some bullshit and if you waste my time, I might decide to unfollow you. Now you just lost me completely. So for the people that are just getting into it, I recommend focusing on quality. Focus on good quality. We live in such a high, fast-paced world. Like, I don't have the time to sit there and be like, oh well, maybe this guy has the potential to be good later. No, the world is very harsh. If you give me some bullshit, I'm gonna swipe away right away, and I'll never see you again.
You're gonna treat it like bullshit.
That's what it's. I don't want to do that. It's just how it is. That's how the world is right now. So it has to be good quality content. Spend a week on it if you have to, 2 weeks on it. There's no reason to rush out the content. All the stuff that I'm doing when I put out stuff that's not really the best quality content is because I have things in my head that I have a queue in my head of things that I'm gonna post, right? And some of the things that I have are so monstrous, they're so huge, that for me personally, it doesn't matter what I post right now, because the things that I have lined up are so big that it's gonna negate all of all the bullshit.
Yeah, I understand.
But I'm a different case, and each person is a different case.
Everybody's different.
This is why it's so difficult for content creators, because there's no template. You know, even with movies, there was a template. There was a storyline. Some movies, you'd be going to try to rob a bank, right? There's your storyline. Some movies, he'd be chasing after the girl. There's a storyline. There's a template. You can change the setting, you can change the outfits, you can change the wording in the movie, but it's still the same storyline, still the same ending. In the end, he gets the girl. With us, with content creators, there is no template. Everybody's different. It depends, your nationality is different, the way you speak is different. Exactly. Your audience is going to be different.
There's always something that's going to draw a certain somebody. Mm-hmm. Like I work with a couple collaborators that collaborate on my page. They post history, they post different type of Albanian content. But I always tell them too, I'm like, it doesn't matter that you have a much smaller following than me. If your content is good, it's going to get the views, it's going to get the engagements, it's going to get the comments. And now you've seen them progress from like 200 followers, 300 followers to now 3,000, 5,000, 10,000. And maybe the followers aren't all there. When you go on their page now, you see a post with 100,000 views, 300 comments. So like, you're doing something right, And like, that's what I see with you too. Even on your posts, say that don't have the million views, it'll be at 50,000 views. But when you look at the engagements and what you're actually drawing attention to, like, you're getting a good amount of attention, which is great. Some may not be good, some may be bad, but at the end of the day, you're doing social media to create engagement, and you're creating great and bad engagement, which at the end of the day is just all engagement, which is great for you. We're getting down to the end here, but like, what type of legacy do you want to leave behind in terms of for you, for your family, for your kids, or whatever in the future? Like, what's the legacy that you want to leave behind? What do you want to be remembered as a content creator, as just a human being? What do you want to be remembered for?
I believe that we're going to live forever. I don't think that the storyline that we've been told that we're going to die at 70 years old, I don't think that's true. I think we're going to live to be 500 years old because of AI. So I don't think about leaving a legacy behind. I'm thinking about growing a team, building a community, because we're all going to live for another 400 years, the way artificial intelligence is going. So I'm thinking about the future of having people together, humans coming together to build something together.
Interesting.
I don't believe in legacy.
Interesting, bro. What? Hold on one second. If social media just all of a sudden disappeared tomorrow, I know this is a big part of my world. It's a big part of your world. But if it just disappears tomorrow, what would you see yourself doing tomorrow?
I'll go to Montenegro and live on a farm, and I would have bees.
You would have bees.
Bee farm.
Okay.
My uncle has a bee farm in Montenegro.
Interesting.
That's what I would do.
I always said I'd want to have a farm in Kosovo as well. Agron, I just want to say you've honestly been like an interesting person that I'm getting to know, getting to see here from first person. Honestly, you have a very good, you have a good personality. I think your content is great. I want people to definitely see you more, which is why I'm having this interview, because I feel like I like when I see people step out of the box, step out of their comfort zone. I don't like people that are always kind of doing the same content. Your content was very different to me. It's why it struck me. But I want people to be able to see more of you. And I definitely feel like you should definitely keep doing what you're doing. I think it's great. But where can people find you? Plug in your social medias. Plug in where you want people to follow you, where you want people to see you, and what could they expect from you next?
It's at TheSupremeNPC. Setting up. So you can find me at TheSupremeNPC, TheSupreme, and it's NPC, the Supreme NPC, the Supreme non-player character. The reason I say that is because I feel we're all like sort of NPCs in a simulated world.
Interesting.
So at the Supreme NPC, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube.
So you have a YouTube as well?
Yes.
Okay, that's great. And what's one final thing you want to say to entrepreneurs or anybody that's watching you, young and old? What's one final thing you'd like to say to them to leave a lasting impression or something to motivate them to do what they want to do in life?
Don't worry what the people say. Even if you're doing drugs, people will make fun of you for doing drugs. If you're creating TikToks, people are going to say you're corny for creating TikToks. Do not worry what the people say.
Not worry about the people say. I really appreciate that. I appreciate your time. Thank you for coming on the interviews, for discovering Albanians. I hope everybody gets to discover you and eventually you get millions and millions of followers, views. Agron, I really appreciate your time. I hope you guys have a great day, and thank you for coming on.
Amen.
Shout out to my Sheepas. We'll see you soon, guys. There we go.